From 2 back-to-back knockouts in a single night to showing mediocre skills that put him at risk in the ring, here are the Nightmare's best and worst boxing moments. Starting with a shocker. KSI pulled off a shocking upset by defeating Logan Paul. Let's be real here. When the YouTuber turned boxer faced Paul for the first time in the ring, no one even expected him to finish the fight. Logan didn't have any prior boxing experience, actually, but it was his size and wrestling history that made him a favorite in the bout. After Logan showed off his jabs in the ring, it was looking impossible for KSI to win, but the Nightmare pulled through and started throwing hands at him. Fans were taken by surprise when, after 6 rounds, the fight scored a draw. No one was expecting KSI to make such a comeback, but it wasn't till his second fight with Paul that he proved to the world he was taking boxing seriously. He wasn't just another YouTuber putting on a pair of boxing gloves. KSI pulled off an upset at the Staples Center in Los Angeles in front of thousands of fans. The Brit swung wildly with hooks from the opening bell. Paul was jabbing tentatively at range. KSI took his early aggression in the second round, and Paul was struggling with his opponent's crude punches that made him slip twice in the third round. KSI really showed off his skills in this fight, and his transformation was insane. The Ohio man lost 2 points for hitting the back of JJ's head. This resulted in a split decision victory for the Nightmare. While this was just a split victory, KSI is better known for his knockouts, and his knockout win over FaZe Temper was phenomenal. The Brit was in a hurry because he knocked out his opponent in the first round. Knockouts require a lot of power, and that's something KSI doesn't lack in the ring. The Nightmare was originally training for Dylan Dennis, but FaZe Temper had to fill in his shoes when the mixed martial artist pulled out last minute. This KO win was a piece of cake for the content creator. He cracked his opponent with a right hand and left hook. This put Temper on the canvas. The count wasn't answered in a timely fashion, and a KO win for KSI was secured. Temper was a pretty easy opponent for the Brit, but that doesn't mean he didn't use his great skills in the ring with a first-round knockout. Speaking of knockouts, of course, we're gonna add KSI's 2 fights in a night for his best moments as a boxer. Yes, you heard it right, 2 knockouts in a single night. He really talked the talk and walked the walk by giving fans what they wanted. Do you have any idea how much stamina a boxer needs to fight 2 people in a night? It's no joke, and KSI didn't fall short of any of his 2 opponents. He fought British rapper Swarms and produced a TKO as his first fight in the evening. The Nightmare dropped the British rapper in the first round before knocking him down in the second, but it was his second fight that showed more of his technique. KSI dropped Pineda twice in each of the first, second, and third rounds. The ref finally brought the fight to a halt and gave the Prime founder his second knockout of the evening. Pineda looked fearful throughout the fight. He wasn't his best self in the ring, and it was showing. This was pretty shocking to fans because he was just sanctioned as a pro boxer before stepping in the ring with KSI. Plus, Pineda wasn't the only one showing weaknesses in the ring. Even though we're giving him the credit for 2 KOs in one fight, KSI's fight with Pineda wasn't the best of his work. Yeah, a knockout victory is good, but KSI's technique in the ring was far from good. Fans think he only won because his opponent didn't have his head in the game. Let's look at the fight from a technical point of view. KSI's arsenal consists of only 1 punch. Yes, 1 punch only. His main weapon in the ring is the right overhand. It's fast and powerful, and JJ has learned how to throw it perfectly. But being a fighter of 1 punch is a risk. Plus, KSI often throws 2 or even 3 blows with 1 hand. And this isn't a technique used by pro boxers. Fans saw the Brit make use of it in his fight with Pineda. Throwing 3 overhands in a row is dangerous. It's an irresponsible infliction of the same blow, and the price to pay for it is a knockout defeat. Yes, if it was some pro boxer who wasn't scared of KSI instead of Pineda, the 29-year-old athlete might have lost his undefeated title. And he still can if he uses this technique while facing a pro, because the moment of swinging for a second or third punch, a counterattack window opens, and any pro would take full advantage of that. KSI was also running around and chasing Pineda in the ring, which makes you very predictable. The Nightmare should cut his opponents instead. Chasing Pineda around made him miss. Cutting the trajectory is the recipe for good technique, and KSI just isn't aware of it yet. This was definitely one of KSI's worst boxing moments, but his lack of athleticism has also been seen in his bouts. Yeah, he isn't a natural athlete. Athleticism is kinda a must when you're a boxer, but KSI is making it work somehow. The Brit was a gamer with a bad physique before he became shredded. Yeah, he looks pretty intimidating now, but don't let the looks fool you. His coordination, explosive skills, and plasticity isn't the best. It's even worse than Logan Paul's. And we saw it both times KSI fought the older Paul brother. Even Deji has better athleticism than his brother KSI. Yes, the tank walks in the ring with a belly, but his coordination is always on point. Muscle doesn't mean athleticism. KSI has never lost a single boxing match. Fans were criticizing him for not choosing pro opponents. It's pretty obvious that Pineda and Temper got nothing on him. Well, he listened to the fans, because now he's training for a bout with Joe Fournier. The Nightmare knows this isn't going to be a piece of cake. Joe is on a completely different level than KSI's previous opponents. He's a pro, and we all know how it went down for Jake Paul when he faced a pro for the first time. He lost by a split decision and isn't undefeated anymore. KSI could meet the same fate if he takes it as lightly as Paul did, but he's not, because he's training as much as he can. To prepare for his bout with Fournier, KSI was seen sparring with 12-0 pro boxer Idris Virgo. Yeah, the clip shared by the Brit sent the internet into a frenzy. I mean, he's gotta do what he's gotta do to win, right? JJ is definitely on the right track, and Joe just might be underestimating him a bit because he thinks he's got it easy. Anthony Taylor thinks KSI will definitely win because of all the harsh training. Joe, on the other hand, isn't training. Instead, he's chilling and just talking the talk. A fan on social media joked about how KSI's intense sparring videos make his opponents pull out. Joe looks unbothered, so this fight isn't in jeopardy. KSI versus Joe Fournier is set for May 13th. Yep, these two are gonna face each other for Misfits' 7th event. The bout will take place at the OVO Arena, Wembley, London. It will be KSI's first time stepping in the ring with a pro, so it's his time to prove it to the world that he isn't just an influencer boxer. The fight will be available to stream via DAZN if you can't make it to the OVO Arena for live action. KSI just needs to work on his techniques a bit if he wants a chance at this one. Joe also needs to stop taking his rival lightly. We'll have to wait and see if KSI walks out of the ring undefeated. And folks, that's all for KSI's best and worst boxing moments.